Morning.
Morning. Pete, I was looking back at yesterday's game. Did you feel like you kind of found that balance between the run and the pass game that you've been looking for when you was talking about you want to run the ball more? So did you feel like you found that kind of balance between the
I
run and the
think we
pass?
found the balance team-wise more so than just offensively. 'Cause we weren't as effective as we'd like to be in the running game, but we did it. 32 carries. That's a real statement, and it played right into the compliments of what the special teams guys did. They gave up no big plays, created a little bit. Defense played great and did a lot of great things for us. So it was complementary football all around. That's kind of how we've won over the years, and it doesn't have to be as productive. It just needs to be really solid, and you keep the ball away from the other guys, and you get a chance to win the turnover thing, and all that happened.
Was there anything, Pete, that after watching the film stood out to you that maybe you didn't notice from field level and talk about after the game?
Yeah, a couple things. Well, the first thing was the pursuit on defense and the perimeter play that we had, guys coming out of the stack. Jonah had a couple terrific pursuit plays, and Kai Blue had a couple great containments on the edge when they're trying to get the ball around us, and it showed the intensity of the guys flying. I think Jeremy had a really good play too on a perimeter play. When you can discourage those, then okay, you eliminate part of the game, and we did it just with effort. I think the other side of it too was I thought Ashton ran really hard again. And he's a physical presence when you're in playing him. He's going to break tackles. He's going to bounce off. Is he breaking more tackles than anybody? Is that stat still there? Yeah. Well, that's a statement, and it's a style that we want to stand for. And it's pretty clear. You can go back and you can see this is something that we've always tried to develop in our guys and our team. And so that jumped out at me. I thought Ashton's in the running game attitude was there, and then what happened on the other side was effort-wise was really good on defense.
There's more Jack Besh yesterday as opposed to Dante Thornton. Dante's usage, was that kind of more what the game plan was against that particular team, or?
Yes, obviously it was. That's what we did, Jack didn't get any balls, but he played a bunch of plays, and we ran the ball a lot, and he was involved in some of that. And it wasn't in any plan to keep Dante from not playing. It's just kind of the way the rotation went.
Talk about running the ball. Ashton, I noticed, had a lot of really good ones on the outside or going to the right side with Jackson and DJ. Can you just talk about how much you've seen them grow on that right side and what you like from them?
Yeah, we did get the ball out on the perimeter pretty well, and you can see how it's kind of easy for Ashton when he gets out there to make 8-10 yards. He can get it almost with every opportunity. Not always does the guy just miss the tackle, but it's hard to get him down. And those guys getting him out and making the edge for him, and the receivers blocking to help us out, all of that took place.
Turnovers and pressure has been something that's been an emphasis lately, and was able to get it yesterday. How big is that, not just for the game and the win, but moving forward for those defensive?
Well, it is what we've been selling, that we're going to play like, and so it was good to be ahead in the game, and they forced the issue a little bit, and play calling was such that we could take advantage of the opportunities, and the guys really executed really well. We were very clean on defense yesterday, assignment-wise, principles, containment, those big issues were really dealt with in good fashion, and so it gives you a chance to play good. Stayed on top of the deep ball really well, kept them from making any explosive plays to speak of, and all that fits together.
How valuable is it to take a win into Kansas City now?
Say that again.
How valuable is it to take a win into Kansas City, and rather than just from a mental standpoint?
Well, it's always really valuable. I mean, yeah, it's positive and it feels good and all that. It happens to be Kansas City that's next, and so we'll do everything we can to prepare and come off this game clear-minded and really drilled into the challenge that they bring. It's a tremendous program that Andy's been running for a long time, and we're going to have to play really well to have a chance. But if we prepare well, we'll have a chance, and that's all we can ask for.
You were hopeful about Brock Bowers last week. Does that increase a little bit this week?
I don't know that. I mean, I'm hopeful, yeah. But we're looking after him. There's a big bye coming up and all that kind of stuff. The next week, a couple weeks you get, before you have to come back. So I can't tell you. I'm optimistic always, but that doesn't mean we're getting him back. So you look the long haul of it. It might be best, to just guarantee that he's full speed and back. So we'll see how we handle that.
Pete, I was wondering, how is Aiden O'Connell progressing as well as Lonnie Johnson?
Yeah, both those guys are doing great. They're in their rehab. They both have beautiful attitudes about it. Lonnie's been battling. He's trying to get back now, and so it's kind of the same format of this week coming up, and the next week off. It gives these guys a real chance to guarantee it and maximize their return opportunity. So, but they're doing well. Aiden's throwing the ball, Lonnie's on the field running, and it's just a matter of this week, next week kind of thing. So we're in good shape on those guys.
On the back end of talking about Rock, when you look at a player like Michael Mayer over these last 3 weeks, and especially the game he had yesterday, do you see him as being more invaluable than you ever would have thought? Now at this point.
Well, no, he showed us. He's shown us that, through camp and all that. And Mike's had a great run since we've been here. I mean, he's looked terrific. And when he and Brock are out there and Ian filling in, those guys, it's a great group. For Mike to come back and catch 5 or 6 balls, whatever it was yesterday, and score and a couple of big third down wins and all that, that's what he's been doing. So you can see how hopeful we are for when Brock returns. Brock's one of our very best players, and it'll make a difference. But Mike's doing everything that we could hope for right now, and so I don't think that game was any. We've already been really high on him.
What was your thought process on the left side of your offensive line? How you thought they played and how they.
Well, it was your Stone's got a challenge. He's been a backup for a while. He started a handful of games, a dozen games or something like that, whatever it is, and so he's got to just keep going. And keep battling. We got to keep helping him properly, and he really gives you everything he's got, preparation wise, smarts wise, technique wise. He's stepping and kicking the way you're supposed to, and he's got to survive it. It's hard. And look, there was a portion in the game where the pass rush really all of a sudden was a big deal, and then we put it to rest. In the second half, we didn't have to. It wasn't a factor much, but there was a spurt in there where they were really hot and we were struggling a little bit, and we didn't give up a sack in the second half. So
It appeared to me Jordan had really improved and had a better game also. Did you see that on film?
He was really solid. He's been solid throughout. There's times he gets in situations with enormous guys, and sometimes he's battling up against it. But most of that is we have to be right. Be really precise about the way we help each other and our footwork and all that, so we don't create the little voids in there that can give guys penetration opportunities. But he's doing really well. He's a really solid player for us.
Pete, it's been USC plays Notre Dame this week, and it's been 20 years since the Bush push. I was wondering, do you have any?
Really?
What do you remember from that game? Do you have any
Oh man, I remember a lot from that game. Yeah. I've never talked to you guys about this before.
No.
Come on. Okay. What the heck? We got a couple minutes here, right? Well, that game in particular was one when their head coach really went for it, because we were on a streak. We've been winning games for I don't know how long, but for a while, and so this is the stories I heard is that they sold out the night before the game, on their the rally that they had, and they brought Joe Montana back, and Rudy came back to speak to the crowd, and guy dressed up as Jesus showed up, to try to bring home the power. The grass was about this high, and they wore the green jersey. They broke out the green jerseys. The place was berserk, and they had a great crowd that night. And it was a really tight game going back and forth. And in our final drive, we got down to I think it was it might have been 4th and 9 or something like that, and we called a Y option play. We're gonna throw the tight end to see if we can get the first down, and we had called timeout, and Lane was upstairs and Sark was with me on the sidelines, and as we're talking to Leinert and telling him, okay, here it is, we're going Y option, and as he started to walk away, Kiff in the box says, hey, remind him about the blitz. If they blitz, we got to check that we're going to go to. And I mean, Matt actually was walking away. We called him back, and Sark reminded him, and so we line up, and I mean, it's 4th down. Game's over. They're ahead. They're going to win the game. And the place I can remember so clearly, it was as loud as the stadium could be, is what it felt like. And it was just like the moment of moments, in a great college matchup. And so we come to the line of scrimmage, and I hear Lane on the headset say, we got to look. meaning they had the blitz look. And so then, is Matt going to see it? And is he going to check? And sure enough, he steps back and starts to make the audible. I mean, how the guys could hear it, I don't know. But they went all the way from the Y run and the option route. He was now in protection. We're sliding the line, to pick up the blitz and all that. And Dwayne gets the route change. Everything had to change in that moment. Couldn't have been harder. And sure enough, Matt hits Dwayne and he's running. And here he goes. He's going to win the game. He's going to score. And they run him down at about that 7-yard line or something like that, and he gets caught. They thought we were going to win. And so a couple of plays later, we have a situation that Leinart gets hit, and he scrambles down inside the 5 or whatever it was. He scrambles and he gets hit, and he fumbles the ball. The ball goes flying out, and the place goes crazy because they think they just won, but the ball went out of bounds, and so they didn't recover it. And I think it was like at the 2 or the 1 or whatever it was. And this is all the way I remember. It might be a little hazy on the recollection here, but we get to the point where we have a chance to sneak it. And we needed to kill the clock or sneak it, which we had combined in the play. And the way that worked is back in the day, and I don't mind telling this because we don't do it this way now. But when we called the kill play, kill it, the quarterback was to look back at Sark on the sidelines, and if we wanted to sneak it, we could sneak it. And he had to point at him. So we get down and we got, tell him to sneak it. So he points at Leinart, and Leinart looks at the line of scrimmage. He goes, there's no way. They're all jammed up. And he looks back at us, and Reggie yells something at him, go for it. And so he sneaks it, and we get totally stuffed. We make no yards at all. And as he started to slide, that's when Reggie was involved in it, and he helped knock him in the end zone and kind of change the fortunes. And so it was such an amazing finish because the whole stadium thought they won the game. And they rushed the field and all that, and then they had to clear the field, and then we come back and win the game after that. So it was about as sweet a finish as you could have in a great situation to keep the streak alive and all that too.
Can we carve this
Okay,
out talk about something like this? Can we talk about something like this every presser? Just carve out some few minutes.
If you want to, it's too much to talk about. But anyway, it was a great moment, great
Yes,
recollection.
I know there were some empty seats yesterday, but that crowd was extremely
I
loud.
thought the crowd was great. The crowd was great. They helped us.
Where Tennessee got a penalty, and I think it was crowd related, and
Yep.
you were applauding. It looked like you were applauding the crowd.
Of course I was. Yeah.
Were you? And can
Heck
you
yeah.
talk about, because that's how you.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to reestablish the franchise and win the crowd.
Yeah, because they factor in. They help win. They help you win, and we need them. And yesterday, wherever, I don't know how many people were there, but it didn't matter. The crowd was right there with us when we needed it. This is a classic setting, where we hopefully we're ahead in the game. They're trying to come back. They're trying to finish it. We're looking for our chance to kill the clock, and all of the things that happen at the end of the game are all connected, and so when they help us rush the passer because they can't hear the cadence, and you see how effective Max has been over the years, and getting off the line of scrimmage, all of that is all connected. So we play together, and I was thrilled to have that. It felt like the factor was there. I didn't care how many people were there, whatever it was.
Did I see that right though? Were you applauding the crowd?
Yeah.
It looked like it.
Yeah,
Special teams wise.
happened the last time we were here too.
Alex Bachman, what he did on punt returns, and
Yeah.
also just the punter, AJ Cole doing what he did.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's if we give a moment here too, the special teams played great yesterday, and it's been a problem for us. We have not played the way we need to play, and we've been giving up too many explosive plays and all, and so yesterday they did their part throughout. Just to have a little burst a couple times on the punt returns was great. Remember, AJ has a sprained ankle. His ankle's still sprained, but he got a couple kicks in on Friday, showed that he could do it. Went out there, did a great job, and we had in this game a part of the game that I love. We had a couple opportunities to sink him back in there, and we did it, and we factored into how we played, and that was. So it really felt like a complete game for us, and with all kinds of areas to play better. Devin White had a great football game, and he had 4 tackles he missed, and I say that because he had a great game, and he'll be all pumped up about it, and he should be. But we can do so much better, and so hopefully we try to make this start and get going.
Speaking of Devin White, how valuable is it to have those veteran linebackers, Jamal, Devin, E-Rob?
I love the way they play. I really love the way they play, and And E-Rob has a big factor in that. His style is exactly what we're looking for. Downhill, lights you up, really aggressive, really a great communicator, to make sure that we make our calls, take advantage of the opportunities. And the guys, I thought they played a really good game as a group. I agree with you. And I think E-Rob's kind of in the center of that, and but that's three wild freaking football players. Those guys love to play the game, and it's fun to see them have that kind of game.
Seems like their leadership also helps keep the rest of the guys in the locker room together.
There's no question. There's no question. They're so driven, and you connect that with Max. We have a winning group there. We have that the defense can really play like that. That isn't a surprise. I think if had the scores been a little bit more in our line, been ahead and all, you would have recognized it even sooner. Remember that there was just a couple weeks ago we were a fraction of a second off on the field goal to win that game too. And we just a hair late or whatever it was that gave them a chance to block a kick. We're so much closer to being on the other end of it than it has appeared. It's why this game is important to us to get this win and at home and all the rest of it. It is important as we take our next step forward. Hopefully we can capitalize on it.
What were your thoughts on Kaiu Blue Kelly's yesterday? Kind of bounce back game for him.
He did a great job yesterday. Yeah, and been conversations about his play and all. I thought it was a really good game plan that Pat put together to make sure that the corners were really a factor and effective. He's a really good football player. You guys continue to see him make big hits and tackles. He'll continue to do that. We have hung him out. He has been out there on his own somewhat earlier in the year. We helped him a little bit more with some of the calls, and that's just a general part of our mix, but he's such a good football player. He shows up when you give him chances. The perimeter passes that he makes the big play on, a couple tackles he had on the tackle on the tight end on the sidelines was a gorgeous play. So we'll count on him to keep coming on.
Back to those veteran linebackers, Pete, they're having a big impact on Tommy Eichenberg. How much does it help him as a future player having those guys?
Yeah,
today?
no, it is. And Tommy got a dozen plays or so yesterday and did a nice job when he had his chance. They're such good symbolic type of linebackers. I mean, they really talk the talk and walk the walk, and they're physical as hell, and you can't ask for more in terms of setting the tone of what's expected and all that. So, yeah, Tommy can jump in anytime and play for us. He's ready to go.
Okay, thanks a lot.